The sound of loud ringtone disturbed the sleeping couple. Vine squinted her eyes, trying to stay in her sleep, while her boyfriend, Jungkook, proceeded to grab his annoyingly loud cell phone. She grabbed his wrist before he could pick up the call. Vine, it's Sunday. You have a day off. Jungkook, it's just a call. She took the phone from his hand, tossing it away. Vine, a call turns into work every time, and I have no plans of letting you go this early in the morning, that too on a weekend. She snuggled up again in his warm chest that felt like home. He had never said anything to her, and sometimes she proudly took a disadvantage of it. She felt his fingers brushing against her hair and arms, putting her back to sleep. Jungkook was a responsible man. He barely got calls except for work, and getting a call at such time surely meant it was important. He looked at the sleeping Hawaiian in his arms and finally decided to give it up and slept again. It was late morning when she was in the kitchen wearing only his shirt as she prepared breakfast for both of them. Jungkook had his arms wrapped around her waist and eyes closed. Wine, you said you're going to help. Jungkook, I am helping you. She chuckled while he kissed her neck and she figured out of his embrace, earning a groan from him. Wine, you might want to fix that scowl on your face. Or who knows, I end up feeding you the broth you hate so much. He pinched his nose bridge and wondered what he got himself into. This lady was terrifyingly dangerous to him with all her demands. Sometimes she would go ahead and make cute faces to make him do things for her. The other times she would threaten him. Not like her threats were real, but they worked on him. What did he do to fix that? He spoiled her more, did everything she wanted, just like now when he reflected his handsome smile, which was reserved only for her, and in return he was blessed with his favorite meal prepared by his favorite person. She was met by her tiny bunny pet, who jumped in her arms, his way of saying good morning, and she fed him with his breakfast. She named him Cookie, after Jungkook's name because he gifted her with that pet. His eyes fell on his phone once again, and he wondered what the call was about. So after he was done with the breakfast, he decided to check on it. The sweetness in his tone long gone, replacing with a stern, authoritative voice. The warm aura turning into the one capable of bringing you to the hell door, and his eyes losing all the shine he held only for his lady, who was currently digging holes in his back with her glares. His secretary told him he was needed urgently for some meeting. After going through the pros and cons of attending or rejecting the meeting, he decided to attend it. But the problem was the lady sitting a few feet away on the couch, angrily munching on her snacks because he was back on his work phone call. Jungkook, you matched the red angry bird from your comic book. Wine, that's a drawing book. She flared her nose and hugged Cookie. He put his cell phone away and walked to her. She turned her back at him, knowing what he was going to say. That's what you get for loving a workaholic. Jungkook, you can come with me. Why? What will I do there? Jungkook, admire your handsome boyfriend. He internally cringed at that, taking a mental note to never try that again. But she seemed to be loving that. Wine, good idea. But I'm taking my baby along. She grinned, referencing Cookie, and got off the couch rushing to room to get ready, bringing her pet with her. Jungkook, you got yourself one impossible woman. For all he knew, she would never make him miss out on work, knowing how hard he works to keep everything under control. He went inside after her and held her waist, picking her up and made her sit on the counter, inside the walk-in closet. He kissed her with his hands, resting on counter on either side of her. It didn't take long before they were exploring every part of her body. Every time he kissed her, it was better than the last one. Something out of the universe she would never be able to explain into words. He always made her lose her sanity with slightest touches and roughest hold. Pulling back, he admired the red on her cheeks and selected an outfit for her of his choice. Bringing it back, he helped her change into it, from wearing her the clothes to fitting her in her heels, from kissing her smooth legs to fixing her accessories and perfume. He did all of that. Wine, what are you looking at? She poked Cookie's head as he was staring at her with his big doe eyes. Jungkook, staring at my lady is not allowed. He legit held him with one hand and put him away. He was being careful, but received a slap on chest for treating her precious baby that way. Once the two reached his office, he excused himself to attend his meeting, and Vine decided to explore the building. She held Cookie in her arms, but the tiny one was way too active to stay in one place. Vine, hey, come back here. She laughed and rushed after him. The floor where Jungkook's office was mostly empty to keep away the extra crowd and noise, even if his office was soundproof. There were usually conference rooms and meeting rooms for board members. An ordinary employee was not allowed there. Cookie suddenly turned a hallway and then she heard a loud scream coming out of a lady. Vine instantly ran forward but stopped in her tracks when she saw a lady screaming and trying to move away from Cookie, as if the little bunny was an anaconda of some type. Claire, move, move away! She screamed again, and Vine scrunched her nose. The coffee mug in Claire's hand fell, and it was spilled all over her brand new heels and dress. Vine, Cookie, come back here. She took her pet and looked at Claire. I'm extremely sorry. I'll get you a new set of clothes. Claire looked at her with flushed red cheeks out of anger and threw the file in her hand away. Claire, new clothes? Who the hell gave you the permission to bring this damn animal here? Do you know how much they cost? Vine, excuse me? Claire, give him to me. I'm going to throw him out. Vine widened her eyes when she started trying to grab Cookie with her long nails. That was probably going to injure the tiny being. Vine, What are you doing? Let go. Stop. Out of struggle, she stepped back harshly, without touching Claire at all. The other woman lost her balance due to her heels and fell down right over the spilled coffee that ruined her even more. She screamed out of frustration, hair going in all directions, feeling quite humiliated. Vine, I'm really sorry, she said, even if it was not her fault, and extended her hand as a helping gesture. Claire stood up and slapped Vine before pushing her harshly. To save Cookie from the assault, she ended up falling over a table, her elbow hitting the corner and ended up bleeding. Claire, I never saw you here before. Where is your ID? I'm going to call a security. Who is going to fix this disaster you stupid animal made? Vine flinched, stepping back when she tried to grab her hair. Claire, no wonder Sir doesn't allow lowlifes like you in his floor. Her hand stopped midway when she felt the sudden change in air. The aura surrounding her, that one which screamed destruction. Every time, when he is around, she is unable to breathe properly. She instantly stepped back, fixing her already messed up form, and the familiar sound of soles clicking against the marble was heard. Wine held her arm and winced. Her eyes fell on Jungkook, who seemed quite angry. He came towards her, and before Claire could explain what was happening or complain about the unknown girl, she was shocked to see him holding and attending Wine with such gentleness she never thought existed in her boss. Jungkook, you are bleeding. He took in that slap mark on her cheek and wrapped his handkerchief around her elbow, without sparing her secretary a glance, and picked her up. He took her to his office and put her on his chair, treating her so gently as if slight force might break her. Jungkook, what happened outside? He was kneeling in front of her. She pecked his lips to calm him somehow. She knew he was angry. Wine. She got scared of Cookie. Her coffee got spilled on her dress, then she tried taking him from me and fell on the dirty floor. Jungkook, I'll see her. Wine. It was my fault to begin with. It's a professional praise. I should have kept him inside. Jungkook, this is my place, and my woman does whatever she pleases. He groaned and stood up. Just this possessive side of him always made her blush. He called in his secretary, who was quite scared as she entered the office compared to the time she was yelling at Wine. Claire, I'm extremely sorry, sir, for the inconvenience. This will never repeat. She bowed and then turned to Wine. Just looking at her sitting on her boss's chair, she knew the girl was important. She bowed before Wine too and apologized twice. Jungkook, open the portal. I'm allowing interviews to replace my ex-secretary, Claire. New employees are not allowed. Only the specific ones I will note down. Claire, sir, please, I'm extremely sorry. This won't. Jungkook, hand me your resignation letter and you're out of here within 14 days, after you're done explaining your work to your replacement. Jungkook, out of my room before the clock takes another minute. She rushed out of the room even if all she wanted was to get down on her knees and beg for forgiveness. Wine, baby, you didn't have to fire her. I'm completely fine. Jungkook, I don't admire people lurking around in my place and acting like they own it. Even if it was someone else other than you, I don't allow the discipline to break. She admired the way he always worked so perfectly and talked with such precision. This side of him was always so hot. Jungkook, I have not even taken your revenge yet. Wine, and what's that going to be? He simply grinned, refusing to let her know. He was not simply going to sit back and watch the wound on her arm heal itself without unleashing his anger. The redness on her cheek still burned his inside with rage. Wine. Yes, Mr. Mafia. Who dare step in your way? Junko only smirked. Wine, are you done with the work? Can we leave now? Jungkook, the work is done, but we are not leaving yet. He held her waist and made her sit on the table in front of him and kissed her roughly, his hands disappearing in her shirt, and she knew it was going to be a long, long time before they will get out of here.